guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a long overdue Empties video for you guys. So I have this bag and it's not actually very full, but I haven't filmed an Empties since the end of August and it's now mid-October. So I'm not sure why, but my Empties have really slowed down recently. When I first started watching YouTube videos, I was always amazed by how many Empties everyone had, like on a monthly basis. And then when I started making my channel, I was surprised that I also had a lot of Empties. I think it's one of those things you just don't notice how much stuff you use up until you start collecting it and seeing it that way. But I know there was like even one month where I had 2 Empties videos because I'd used up so much stuff. So I'm not quite sure why it slowed down so much. I think partially just because I moved and I had like mostly new products when I came here. And I also just used up a bunch of stuff before I left, so I kind of used up all the things that were half gone. And so I think that, you know, it's just natural that it slowed down a little bit. I would like to have an Empties video every month, but I'm just not sure if that is going to happen again anytime soon, but we will see. But anyway, I have one for you guys now. So this is everything from September and October so far. I actually do have quite a bit of makeup in here, which is pretty exciting because I feel like usually I only have a couple things in each Empties, but I have quite a bit, at least for me. So I think I'll start with the makeup and then get into all the skincare and other beauty items. Alright, so the first item I have is the original OPI Nail Envy, and I really love this product. Whenever my nails are feeling like my nails tend to peel and get thin and break a lot. So whenever that starts to happen, I usually take a break from painting them and I just use the Nail Envy. And I just started another round of that yesterday actually. I bought the colored version and I don't like that quite as much. I don't feel like it makes a big difference. So I'm back to the clear version right now. Hopefully that'll help my nails get a little longer so I can go back to painting them. But I really love this. I already bought another one. It's kind of expensive. I think it's about $18 at Ulta. You can use the $3.50 off coupon on it, but I always get mine at Nordstrom Rack. I think it's about $12 there, maybe $12.95. So you save quite a bit by getting it at Nordstrom Rack, and mine always has it in stock, and the one where I live now also has it, so I think it's pretty standard. So I highly recommend checking that out if you want to get it at a little bit of a discount. Next up, I have 2 Empties that are really exciting to me, and those are my 2 oldest makeup items that I have. Or that I had. They're both from Bare Minerals. I have the Warmth Bronzer, which I'll take off the cap so you can kind of see. There is a little bit of powder in there, but it was just really hard to get out, and I don't really like it enough to like break into this little pot. And so here is the Hint Blush as well. So these items by far are the oldest makeup items in my collection. I'm not sure quite when I got them. I got them in a Bare Minerals kit that my mom got me and my sister for Christmas one year. It came with the blush, the bronzer, a foundation, a mineral veil, and 2 brushes. There was also a DVD instructional on how to use them. And I wish I could remember what year that was. I know for sure that I had these products when I lived in my apartment, my first apartment with my now husband, which we lived in, we moved in 2009 and lived there from 2009 to 2010. So I definitely had them then. So they're at least 5 years old. But I have a few, like, I'm pretty sure I also had them in college. I think it was one of those things where I got them one year and I maybe tried it a couple times, but I never was really into wearing makeup a lot. I usually only wore it when I was going out, so I probably kind of had them in a drawer, and then whenever I felt like wearing makeup, I would reach for them. And then I did eventually use up the foundation, and I remember repurchasing it. I think it was in 2011 or 2012, around there. I had to repurchase the foundation. So I must have already had them for quite a bit before then, because I definitely wasn't wearing it on a daily basis. It was basically anytime I went out at night, maybe on the weekends, but not every weekend I would wear it. So probably took me a long time to get through those. So I'm guessing they're at least from 2008, 2009. And so I was really anxious to get these out of my collection. I really didn't like the shade of Warmth. I found it to be a little too orange, so you had to be kind of careful with it. And then the blush, it was just very shimmery, so I'm not really into shimmery blushes most of the time. So for those reasons, I wouldn't repurchase them, but it wasn't like the worst thing ever to use them up, but I just wouldn't buy them again. So I'm glad to have these 2 items gone, and now I don't have anything else that is anywhere near that old. The next thing I have is this Neutrogena Revitalizing Lip Balm, and this is in the shade Healthy Blush. And it is SPF 20, but I did not use this up entirely. I decided to declutter it because it is old and the SPF is expired. And also, I brought it on a trip to Jamaica in 2000, like not this summer, but last summer, and it kind of melted and it kind of changed. When I first had it, the tint wasn't very noticeable, but after it kind of melted, for some reason it just looked way pinker on my lips, and I just wasn't a fan of it. So that's what it looks like. I really liked the scent. It was like watermelon Jolly Ranchers, which I thought was nice. And I did really like this. I would purchase it again. I might get a different shade just because I'm not sure if, like, I really liked it when I first got it, but then after Jamaica I really didn't. So maybe if there was a more neutral shade that wasn't such a bright pink, I would pick one up. But I really like having a lip balm with SPF in it. But now I have a bunch of the Fresh Sugar lip treatments, so I'm going to be using those for a while. So I won't be in the market for a lip balm with SPF. So I won't be in the market for a lip balm with SPF for quite a while. I guess while we're talking about that, I have this one. It's the Fresh Sugar Lip Treatment in Rosé. I got this in the Sephora Superstar set last year. I just did a rehaul video to review that haul on my channel, so I'll link that down below if you're interested in seeing what else was in that set. But I loved this so much. I loved it so much that, if you can see, I dug all the way down in there. Once it got flattened out, I started using a Q-tip to apply it, and I just kept it by my desk. I usually applied it in the morning because I wasn't going to carry it around because it was a pain to apply, but I would put it on in the morning while I was doing my makeup, and then I usually, you know, go eat breakfast and then go to work, and then would apply a different lip product that I carry in my purse. So I really love this. I ended up picking up this set earlier this year. It has 5 of the mini ones, and it was $36. And I'm really excited to try some of the other shades. I've heard some people say that they don't like the full-size version of these because the size is too hard to apply. And I really thought these were the perfect size. And also, I think the full size is like $22, which I think is a little ridiculous. This seemed a little better to me to have a kit with a bunch of ones. I don't know if it's really that good of a value, but I kind of tricked myself into saying that it was. But I just really like them. I really like the citrusy kind of scent to them, and they feel really great. I don't know if they're necessarily worth the full price, but I did decide to treat myself and get that little kit. Right, this is an item I got in my Ipsy when I still got Ipsy. I canceled it, I think, in January of last year, so I think I got this before then sometime. This is the Smooth Criminal Powder from Bombshell, and there were 4 grams in here, and this lasted a really, really long time. It was a very, very generous sample. I really liked it. I wouldn't say it was very unique or special compared to the other powders I've used, like the e.l.f. HD powder, or right now I'm using a sample of the Laura Mercier Universal Setting Powder, so I'm not going to seek this out and purchase it because, you know, this brand isn't one you can find in stores. You'd have to order it online, and I didn't like it that much. I'll probably go back to my e.l.f. HD powder just because it's such a good deal. It's like $6 for a huge container. I don't really like the container. It's really bulky, but I can overlook that for the price of $6. But this was fine, and it does give flashback though, so if you have this and you're going to be photographed with flash, don't wear it. Next I have another sample I got in I think a Birchbox. It's the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refiner Primer, and this was very similar to the Porefessional from Benefit, which I like. I don't think it's a necessary thing to have in my routine, but I've had lots of samples of the Porefessional. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know they seem to be drawn to me. I don't know where they come from, but I always have at least 1 or 2. So I'm probably never going to buy this, but it was fine to use up. Another Ipsy sample I used up was the Bare Minerals 5-in-1 BB Advanced Performance Cream Eyeshadow. It had SPF 15, and this was in the shade Divine Wine. And I got this in my Ipsy, like I said. I really, really liked the formula on these. This one was kind of dark, so I could only kind of wear it if I was wearing darker shade on my eye. That's what it looked like right there. But I really liked it. It was very smooth, easy to blend out, and I like the fact that it had SPF in it. So I would definitely consider repurchasing one of these, but if I did, I would probably get a different shade, something closer to my skin tone. I do have a full size of this in another shade that I got using my Ipsy points, which is a pretty good deal. I think it's in like a khaki shade, so it has a little tinge of green to it. I haven't used the other shade yet, but I am excited to give it a try. But in the future, I would be interested in purchasing one of these in something lighter. later. I just have some other color tattoos and stuff that I can use for now. I have another creamy beige leather that that one's pretty close to my skin tone, so if I use that one up, then maybe I would go for one of these. Next I have this Urban Decay All Nighter eyeliner, and I was testing this out and I wasn't in love with it, but then I decided to see how much product was in it, and this is like such a stupid story, so I thought I would be honest and tell you guys what happened. Is I rolled it up and then I couldn't get it to roll back down. I had done it a little bit before and I didn't have a problem, so I don't know if it broke off somewhere at the base or something, and I just could not get it back down. It was like up to here, and I like tried to push it a little bit, because you know sometimes like with lip balms or things, they just get like disconnected from the mechanism, and if you just push it down a little bit it will go. Well, I pushed it down and I broke it and made a huge mess. So if you have one of these, I don't recommend rolling it all the way up to see how much is in there, but it's a black eyeliner. And I'm just not a fan of eyeliners that roll up because you can't get them super sharp. I prefer the ones you have to sharpen because you can get them to a really, really fine point. And I prefer to have that kind of precision and control over it. So I got this in a set last December. It came with like some Perversion mascara, Perversion like the pencil liner, and some a liquid liner that my sister really likes that I gave to her. So I didn't pay full price for this, so I'm not going to be too mad at myself for breaking it, but yeah, that's just a stupid thing I did, and so now this eyeliner is out of my collection. Next I have another eyeliner. I got this in my Birchbox. It was from Noir, and I probably have a little bit left, but yeah, it's right here on the top. And I wasn't a huge fan of this liner. It wasn't super dark. You can kind of see it compared to the other one, how it's a little lighter. And I felt like it faded a little bit and wasn't as long lasting. But the things I did like about it were that if I put it in my waterline or my tight line, it wouldn't get on my contacts. And that's an issue I have sometimes. So I don't usually end up putting anything there because it's annoying to have little smudges on your contacts. And also I was able to sharpen this enough and use it to do winged liner, and I've never had success doing winged liner with a pencil before. I think the other ones I've tried have just been a little too creamy or something, so I couldn't really get a fine point like I like, but that's how I used this up eventually, was to do winged liner with this. So I was really excited that I figured out that I can use pencils for wing liner. It just kind of depends on the pencil, but this is not an eyeliner I would probably ever purchase again. And another eyeliner is the Urban Decay liner in the shade West, which is a dark brown with shimmers. That's what it looks like there. And this one, there's more in here I usually could get up, but the silver part sometimes on these breaks, and then so it spins around, so you can't really turn them in the sharpener. So that was kind of a bummer, but not too much, because I've found that I just really don't like brown liners on me. If I want something less like stark than a dark black, I prefer a gray or kind of charcoal shade. So to use this up, I ended up kind of putting it on my upper lash line and covering it with black eyeshadow to make it darker, because this one just wasn't very dark to begin with. It looks kind of dark on my hand, but I couldn't get that dark on my eyelid, especially like over eyeshadow. I had trouble. And so I also applied it on my lower lash line sometimes, and sometimes also covered it with a different shadow to change the shade a bit. So I was able to get through it, but I'm going to stay away from brown eyeliners from now on. But I do have a couple more in my collection that I need to use up, but from now on I'm not going to buy any. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this was a mini size. It was not a full size, so it was just like half of a normal pencil, and I got it, I believe, in the Urban Decay Black Market set, which was from Holiday, I think it was from Holiday 2013, but I got it on sale in 2014. Next I have the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Eyebrow Pencil, and I had this in one of my projects. I can't remember if it was my Project 10 Pan or the Finish 15 by Halloween, but it broke on both sides, so I ended up just giving up on it. So there's still a little product in here. So that was the shade. It looks kind of light and warm, but it wasn't too bad on my eyebrows, but it's not my preferred kind of shade. But yeah, the pencil broke out, so there's just a little bit left. So I did use up quite a bit of it. But that part broke, and then I was still using it, and then the other end broke, and I was just like, whatever, I'm over this. It was free, I'm not gonna worry about it. But it started up here, and now it's like down to here, I think. So I used over half of it, I would say. But I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. Maybe if I don't know, because it's, but like this huge chunk of plastic broke off of this, and I don't know what happened. I didn't drop it or anything, but this huge chunk fell off and the spoolie fell out because that's what was holding it. If you can kind of see, it held it in there. So once this broke, I was just kind of over this whole sample. It was free, so I'm not gonna, you know, get worried about the fact that there's still a little bit left in it. Then my last makeup item is another sample size from Birchbox. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and I really, really like this. This tube lasted me quite a while. I was pretty impressed with how long it lasted, and it really, like, it holds your brows in place, but they're not hard or crunchy or shiny, and I do like it better than the e.l.f. one, which is the only other one I've tried so far. I did end up getting a full size of this on my birthday when it was 50% off from Ulta. It was a gift from my mom. She paid for it. We went to the store together. And towards the end of this, it did make my brows more crunchy, but I think it was because you can still see there's like a little booger on the end of this, but there isn't a lot in here. So what I would do is kind of rub the booger, that sounds so gross, put a little bit of it on and then brush it out with the brush. And I think it was just too much product. So yeah, so towards the end I wasn't loving it, but for most of the time it was really great, and I'm happy to have a full size. But that being said, I don't think the full size is necessarily worth the $22 or whatever it is, so I don't see myself purchasing it again for full price. If I did purchase it for full price, I'd probably get one of the tinted ones because I feel like that's at least a little more worth it. But my plan is, once I use up the full sizes, to try some more drugstore ones. I would like to try the NYX ones, and I know they have some tinted ones. And I heard the Milani one is pretty good, so I'll probably try some of those. I do like the e.l.f. one. I just feel like I go through it really fast. Like, I go through it in like a month or so, which it's $2 or something, so it's not that big of a deal. But I would rather have something that I don't have to repurchase as often. Alright, so that is all the makeup in my empties, and now we'll move on to the other beauty type products I have. So I'll start with some perfumes. The first one I have here is the Burberry Brit Sheer. There is a little bit left in here, but it stopped spraying out, so I kind of gave up on it. But I like this. It was floral, but not too sweet or anything. Not necessarily the type of scent I usually go for, but I did enjoy using the sample, but I'm not going to rush out and buy a bottle for myself. Then I have another Prada Candy. I've had a bunch of these. It's a sweeter type scent, which, like I said, is not my kind of scent, but I do like this. It's not too sweet for me. And then I have the Elizabeth & James Nirvana Black, and I really like this. I think one of the notes is violet, and then some other ones. It is kind of a stronger scent, and I think most people prefer the white to the black, but I really like the black. But to me, it's kind of more of a fall winter scent than like a summer scent, so I broke this out once it got to be a little colder. But I have a rollerball of this, and I really like it. And then finally, I have the Clean Warm Cotton. I got a set of the Clean mini rollerballs earlier last year, and I'm just trying to make my way through them. This one I am not a huge fan of. It kind of smells like laundry soap. I would use this kind of before I went to the gym or before I went to bed, because it did kind of smell nice and fresh, but not like very perfumey. But when I was trying to use it the very last little bit, I kind of went a little overboard, and it gave me a kind of a headache, which it doesn't usually happen. So this is not a scent I would probably go for, but I do like some of the other clean scents. I'm trying to use up the ones I like the least first. So this is probably either my least favorite or second least favorite. I think my favorite is Skin, and I also think I like the Rain one. The next one I've been working on is the Fresh Laundry one, which also has kind of a laundry scent, but a different scent than this. So that one's not my favorite either, but I like it a little bit more than the Warm Cotton. This is the Lumene eye makeup remover. You've seen this before, and I've said before, it's not my holy grail, but it's the one I purchase the most often, just because it's like the cheapest one I can find at Ulta that I like. And I try to get kind of essential items like this at Ulta just so I can rack up the points there. So I'll probably buy it again unless I find something else better, but this is just fine. It does leave kind of a greasy residue, but when I'm using this, it's right before I wash my face, so that doesn't bother me quite as much. So I have some other makeup removers I'm getting through right now. I have a Sephora one that I bought at the Beauty Brunch event, and then I have a couple from Marcel that I got from Birchbox at a really good deal. So it'll be a while before I need another one, but I wouldn't be surprised if I go back to this just because it's cheap, it's easy to get, and it works. This is the Paula's Choice for Men Daytime Protect. It's a moisturizer with SPF, and I like this just fine. I don't care that it's for men. I just get whatever samples are available. I like to get the ones with SPF when I make an order with Paula's Choice just because I find it handy to have when I'm traveling. So I use this, I think, when I was at home or something for the weekend. Then I also had the Paula's Choice Skin Balancing Oil Absorbing Mask. This is a pretty nice clay mask. I have a full size of it at home, and I like it, and I just had this with me here, so I decided to use it up. Okay, next up, I don't really want to show you this as a Ziploc bag because it's kind of gross. It has a bunch of foil packets that I used when I was traveling a couple weeks ago, and some, you know, there's still a little bit of product in them, so it kind of leaked all over, and it looks really disgusting, but I will just tell you what's in it. First, I have the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, and I do like this primer. I just would never buy it because it costs like $50 or something ridiculous, and I don't think I like it that much. I have the Paula's Choice Earth Sourced Toner, which is my holy grail toner. I love it. Once I use up the toner I have now, I already have a backup of it, so I'm really excited to get back to using that. Then I have two Paula's Choice moisturizers with SPF. One is the Moisture Boost, and that was the first time I tried that one, and it was definitely had more moisture and wasn't quite as like mattifying, or it took a little more to get it to absorb. I do have drier skin, but not only really in the winter when it gets really cold, so if you have drier skin I would recommend trying that one, but for now I'm going to stick with my clear, I forgot what it's called, the clear one. And then I also had the Paula's Choice Skin Balancing Moisturizer with SPF, and I really like that one as well, but I kind of showed when I used up my full size of that one that I really didn't like the dispenser on it, so for that reason, like I said, I'm going to stick with my clear. And then I had the BHA lotion, so I used up all of those little samples. It was nice to make a dent in my little pack of foil samples. This is the Whisper Cotton Rounds, and this was my first time using this brand, and I like them. That's good because I bought them at Costco, so I have enough for like the rest of, for the next year. So you'll be seeing a lot of these in my empties. This is the UB Moisturizing Skin Cream, and this was like a very thick kind of ointmenty cream, and it smelled like vapor rub, and I was not a fan. It was very moisturizing and, you know, helped with some dry patches I had on like my feet, but I don't think I'd ever buy this. I have other lotions that I prefer that are just as moisturizing and just less greasy and smelly. Right, this is the Davines Love Conditioner, and I got this foil sample of it, and then it came with a little shampoo, and I really liked it. It smelled, or I didn't really like it. I liked it. It smelled really nice, but it didn't really wow me, so it's not something I'm going to go out and purchase. And I have two more shampoo and conditioners. This is by Kerastase Resistance. I got these both in Birchboxes in different months, and I used them together when I was at my parents' house for a weekend, and I think these were like weirdly expensive. I did like them, they were fine, but nothing amazing, and I'm not going to go pay however much they cost. This is a sample of the Neroli Hand and Body Lotion by Malin and Goats, and I got this out of my, you know, drawer of backup things. I got this from my mom. She gave me like this little kit she had gotten when she flew to London before